Justin, when I think about being environmentally friendly, I do obviously think about driving an electric vehicle. Now, I also got to think about solar panels. I see them everywhere, different neighborhoods, things like that. Obviously, a good way to produce energy. You tell me, man, is there a connection here between electric vehicles and solar power? Are the two being morphed together?
There is a connection, but it's more of like a 5 to 10 years down the road type of thing. There's a reason why you don't see solar panels on vehicles today. They just don't provide enough electricity to power up the massive, massive battery packs that EVs require. This just really, to me, it highlights how large these battery capacities are in EVs in 2022. So if you really want one, you can buy an EV with a solar-powered roof on it. Let's dig into that, shall we?
And am I not mistaken? The Cybertruck, which again is missing in action, didn't the Cybertruck have some sort of solar panel charge option as well? But maybe you're going to get into it. All right, I won't get ahead of myself.
It does, but that's like vaporware for now. We've had it pushed back 3 or 4 times. Let's talk about the ones that are nearing production.
Sure.
Much sooner, that are actually driving around roads, undergoing production testing right now. Now, the bad news for you, Zach, is you'll have to pay about $200,000 for the best solar-powered EV that will exist in about 2023. Yeah,
Okay.
So don't get your hopes up. Now, if that isn't enough to upset you, $200,000 price tag, using the solar panels on the roof of the Lightyear 1, you would be able to charge at about 7 miles of range added per hour. So, like... and that's in full sunshine. This is going to work out well if you live in sunny California and your car is always parked in the sunshine. There's no trees over your driveway. Can't leave it in the garage. Yeah. So it's not a magical solution to all of our EV charging needs.
Is Lightyear the manufacturer? Like, who is this?
Lightyear is the manufacturer. Yeah, they're a startup they actually first unveiled the Lightyear 1 way back in 2017 at CES. Wow. And in 2017, they said it was production ready. That was the quote. But here we are, 2022, and it looks like it's actually production ready, making it to market next year for a $200,000 price tag. They say they'll have a more affordable option in the future. But what I want to hit on here is that 7 miles of range added per hour, and this is like the best solar-powered EV out there. It's not going to be enough to meet most drivers' needs.
Yeah, definitely. Although it does make me wonder a little bit. I guess we talk a lot about charging at home and parking your car in the garage, and you can do the slow charge at home, no big deal. I guess if you park your car at the office and you leave it out, you leave your Lightyear 1 out in the sun and you're at the office for 8 hours, I mean, that could get you home and back. I mean, or to the office and back. I mean, that does sound kind of reasonable in that type of, use case.
Looking for a car? Look no further than joinyaa.com. Go check out the cars listed there. There's no BS, no lead gen forms, no anything. Just cars.
I'm all for it. I'm just skeptical because keep in mind, for these hours that you're recharging the battery with the photons from the sun, you'll have to be parked in broad sunlight. Like, you'll need to make sure you're not in the cloudy skies, in a parking garage, or anything like that. So it's a very limited use case. The Lightyear 1 specifically, it's very, very efficient and aerodynamic. Its efficiency is why it's got an estimated range of about 450 miles on a charge.
Wow.
So if you're willing to pay the price point, you're able to get 450 miles of sometimes a solar-charged battery pack. But I want to talk about the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which, as you know, is my own EV. In North America, they gave us a glass roof with the limited trim option. And I'm a big fan of the glass roof. I love it. But over in Europe and Asia, especially in Korea, where the Ioniq 5 is currently built, you actually get a solar roof option.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, it only adds about 6 miles of range per day, not per hour, per day, in full sun. So, once again, this is just trickle charge. Not just trickle charge. I don't know. I mean, it's more of a gimmick, if anything. I think that as solar technologies become more and more efficient, because they are, we've seen solar panel efficiency going from about 10% efficiency to over 20% efficiency in the past 5 years. as panels become more efficient and become incorporated into the engineering process of EVs, there may be a future where solar-powered EVs are the no-brainer solution. And maybe even we'll start to see more affordable options bringing solar panels to the market on the roof of an EV. But for now, and for at least the next 5 years, don't count on it to kind of save the day.
So are those your two options? A Lightyear one, which isn't in production, but maybe in production next year, and gets you 7 miles per hour in direct sunlight. And then we have the Hyundai Ioniq 5 in other markets that
other
gets you
markets.
6 per day.
Got one more option for you.
You got one? Okay, yeah, I needed one more.
Zach, are you the kind of guy that would be interested in three-wheeler EVs?
No.
No, me either. Okay, well, if you were, the Aptera Soul is coming to market at about a $45,000 price point for 1,000 miles of range, because this is a tiny, very, very efficient aerodynamic vehicle. But it has a solar array on top that can add 45 miles of range per day. Now, if you're looking for the more affordable version, they do start in the low to mid 30s, which is pretty affordable by today's standards. But you're not going to get 1,000 miles of range. You'd be looking at more like 400, 500 miles of range, which is still pretty impressive. It's all about efficiency for the Aptera Soul.
Is there a lot of current investment in this space? Like, are automakers or heck, even hobbyists trying to figure out ways to hook up solar arrays to their vehicles to do charging? Like, is this, I guess what I'm wondering, how much legs are on this idea?
Not a lot. Now, the investment, the money, the hobbyists do whatever they want. They add rockets to EVs for all we know. But the money's going towards faster charging and battery durability. That's where the hope really lies, and where you're going to see the most improvement in 5 years' time. Right now, on average, it takes about 30, 40 minutes to charge at a DC fast charger. In 5 years' time, we may be looking at 20 minutes. And for those of us with families, that's a huge, important difference. So that's where most investment is going, making charging faster. Range is kind of settling in around 250, 300 miles of range on a charge. We don't expect to see too much more improvement because of battery shortages of all things. But I don't see a lot of money going into the development of solar-powered EVs. Maybe someday, but not in the 2020s.
Officially putting it out there, would love to have someone from Lightyear on our show, on our channel at some point. I think it'd be super interesting to understand how they think about the space and why they're investing so much in trying to make sure that you can add those 7 miles per hour in the sun. Justin, thanks for sharing this topic. I had no clue this even existed, let alone what the viability of it was. So pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, maybe in the 2030s, you'll see me driving around town with a solar-powered EV that did not cost $200,000.
My fingers are crossed for you, man.